I'm going to talk about why personal finance should be a mandated class in all schools. The curriculum in schools has changed because what we believe students should know when they graduate changes. So things like needlework or home ec or typing really aren't taught anymore because to be active and successful members of society, you don't really need to know how to needlepoint a poinsettia. What you do need to know is how to personal finance and how to budget your own money and how to file taxes and what credit is. And that is why we should be teaching that as a full course in all schools. Personal finance should be a mandated course in all schools because the kids will come out knowing what the Pythagorean theorem is, but not knowing how to budget their own money for paying for their phone bill and groceries in the same month. And that leads to the question of the students asking, well, when will I ever use this in life? Because a lot of the times, these subjects like math and science and social studies are still so abstract to them because they won't ever really understand when they're going to use this in life. How is this helpful for me? And the truth is, sometimes it won't be. But what will always be helpful is personal finance because they do use it every day in life. They do see that. It always will come up. In 2000, according to Tennyson and Chow, 52% of high school graduates could not answer a basic financial question. And with America's low saving rates and high use of credit, that was very concerning because we were sending these people out into the world with the potential to get into a lot of debt very quickly because they don't understand the basics of finance. Also, according to Tennyson and Chow in 2000, only some states had a mandated course. There were 3 states that had a mandated course of personal finance, 9 states that had a mandated standard, which just means that some classes had to talk about it at some point, and 10 states that had to have a question that related to personal finance, which just is like that budget question you see in your math test. That's where that came from. Now we have been doing better because in 2016 we jumped up to 45 states having a mandated personal finance curriculum implanted in their school. However, of that, only 22 states had a mandated class specifically for personal finance. Dermot said that personal finance is mostly learned from the parents. And that's true, because if you only have 22 states teaching this, how else is everyone going to learn? 22 states is only half of America, and that's insane. Personal finance should be taught from a very young age to build strong knowledge. Because think about it. If you have a class like math, you've learned about math since preschool up until high school, probably into college. And that is why you have such a strong foundation in that. If you only have a class like personal finance for one semester, one time, how much information did you really learn? Or did you really retain? If we start out from a young age, we can grow that foundation and we can have them come out into the real world being more successful, being in less debt, helping this economy. Basically, personal finance is now being taught. It's just not being taught as effectively as it should be. From personal knowledge, I know that personal finance really helped me with knowing the credit scores and why that's so important, and interest rates and taxes. If I did not have a personal finance course, those things would be a lot more difficult for me. School should be teaching more than just math, science, social studies, and reading. Because while those are your 4 core subjects, if you want a well-rounded adult, you should teach them how to have other skills like personal finance to be successful.